RogueCon 23. That's right. It is here. It's not back. It's here. It's the first one. Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It is all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues, January 20th through the 22nd of 2023. Now, if you want to go, you got to get tickets, and tickets are on sale at RogueCon23.com. That's RogueCon, RogueCon 23.com. Be there. I'm going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. Let's go.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey Bloodies, this is April.
It's Caroline.
We're back. It's Thursday. It's Thursday after live show for us. Two Thursdays for you guys. But we just have to say we had a blast.
We did. That was so fun. We were so famous. Everybody was looking at us.
Yeah.
We were telling stories.
We didn't even screw up really bad at all.
Yeah, I think
we're basically pros.
I mean, that's what I took from it.
Moral of the story, we're officially professionals. It was so much fun. It was so good to meet like new faces that I haven't met.
Yeah.
And then see
who showed up.
Yeah, who showed up.
Half my family.
Yeah, and you had no idea.
No clue.
And then just people that show up that I didn't even know that really listened. So that's random too. We had people from Florida. Was somebody from Florida, somebody from Houston, Clifton, and of course, just around here, a bunch of West people.
Some West peeps.
Yeah, so shout out to all you guys that showed up and bought some gear. And if you are sad that you missed out on the gear at the live show, that's okay, because the order form is on our Facebook page right now. Bloody Happy Hour Podcast Facebook page. Fill that out as quick as you can. Send payment via whatever options that are listed, because we're going to put that order in the next week or two. So let's get it done. Caroline, is there anything big going on with Amber Heard right now? 'Cause we might as well get it over.
She's trying to get all over the news. She's trying to do everything. She's staging photo shoots. Like, she's at TJ Maxx shopping.
I did see that.
And that was completely staged. Like, there was somebody from the ACLU that was with her that, like...
What's ACLU?
That's the place where she fake donated to, but that's who helped her coordinate her whole... op-ed and helped her draft her op-ed with Washington Post. Like, they're all in cahoots. And all this.
What was the whole boob thing?
Boob?
Her boobs.
I don't know about her boobs.
You tweeted it. Something about something tits.
Oh. Okay. I didn't go to sleep till like 1 o'clock last night. I don't know. So that umbrella guy is a YouTube personality, and he has like tons and tons and tons of videos that have to do with Amber Heard from years and years and years back and going forward. He was brought up in the case. He's known as Tug, that umbrella guy. So he was on a live YouTube stream with this other, like, one of the YouTube lawyer guys that I watched when I watched the trial. So apparently, like, the Amber Heard people are saying that there's all these bots on Twitter and that's why all this hate is trending for her. And the umbrella guy, and they're like, oh, look how much money all these YouTubers made off of the trial, which they did, but they were streaming for hours and hours at a time. So they were trying to, like, throw them under the bus, and then saying that they were helping to get all these fake accounts to help get all these different hashtags to trend. So that umbrella guy created a hashtag called Tug's Tits.
Yeah.
And he was like literally just on this live stream, there was like 15,000 people watching, and he's like, let's try to make it go viral. So I'm literally listening the whole time, and I'm like retweeting and tweeting. I'm like living my best life of nothing. So it went viral, and then like Amber Heard's team was like, we have tracked these all these tweets, and they are from all these fake accounts and stuff like that. And they're like, no, literally it was just from 15,000 people watching a live stream and then going and all tweeting the same thing at the same time.
Wow. It was a movement.
I felt like I was part of a movement.
It was a movement.
It got all the way up to trending number 1.
Well, I spent the weekend watching Pirates of the Caribbean. It made me even sadder.
How many did you watch?
Well, technically only 2, but it made me remember like the other ones. I watched the last 2, and it would be so much room to do so much for a new one, but it has to have Johnny Depp.
And Disney, listen.
Maybe somebody will buy out and it won't be Disney anymore. It'll be
needs
like
to get off of Disney.
Pixar. Yeah, it'll be like
Disney got too much going
else.
on right now.
Yeah, maybe that's what'll happen. Somebody else will buy out the franchise, and then Depp will come back.
Listen, I'm just hoping that he gets to be in Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
I'm stuck on the Beetlejuice.
I think we've said this the last 7 episodes.
I can't help it.
We had the same conversation.
Okay, well,
I'm
guess
stuck on
what we can talk
Pirates,
about?
You're stuck on Beetlejuice.
We can go back and talk about Gabby Petito.
Oh goodness,
Because
what's going on with that?
They had a pretrial hearing recently, and hopefully next week or so we'll have answers on if they're going to get a new trial. They're basically
a new trial. There was already
a
one.
trial.
Oh, a trial. Okay.
They're trying to get to where they have a jury trial. They just want answers. They want to see the notebook or the journal, because that's where he confessed
to everything
and wrote his little suits. But like apparently they haven't been able to see it. Maybe the attorney has. I don't know. Surely if they have been able to see it,
the Petitos want to see it.
yes.
Yeah.
So what it's weird is it's like you have, as the laundries, you have the right to remain silent. Right?
Yeah.
Well, what they're saying is that their lawyer or attorney was not silent, and he gave a statement. So in this pretrial hearing, the judge actually referred to the Johnny Depp trial.
Of course.
Saying, well, if we go back to what just happened in the Johnny Depp trial, he was found guilty of defamation by the statement of his agent, which was his attorney at the time. So that was the one charge that he was. So it's like, so they could be like, that could be like means to having a trial, maybe, is just based on the attorney making a statement.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe. So the judge said he's going to take a couple of weeks, and he gave good, there was good back and forth between both sides with the judge.
I think it's just sad because it's been horrible, and then now you're really you're grieving, but you can't even have any closure because all this is going on, and then there's still no answers. And then this trial probably won't even happen for a while.
The parents talked to Brian, and they were able to have a conversation with him, like, what did you do? Why did you do it? What happened? Like, we know she was strangled, but what led? Surely they know these things.
Laundries.
The attorney even talked to Brian. Mm-hmm. So he knows things.
Yeah.
But then the only thing is if they do go to trial and they do get on the stand, will they just plead the fifth?
Yeah.
Which, it's not like you're on trial. They
can be sued. They're trying to sue them for money, right?
No, I don't think they want.
No.
I don't think they
want answers.
I think they just want answers.
Okay.
I think they just want answers.
But if they knew about a crime and they concealed it, they could get charges, right?
I think that falls on the attorney, but I don't know. I mean,
well, yeah. I don't know. It's,
you know
not
what I mean?
Because
it's like you go
time.
to get counsel, and you go based on the advisement of your counsel, right?
Oh.
So if your counsel advises you not to say anything, but your counsel knows what happened, and then doesn't I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm ready. So what is the story? She has not told me what she's talking about. This is the last
Michael Peterson
story. Michael
Peterson
staircase. I'm on episode 2 of that.
Well, you're welcome.
Okay,
You're
so
watching
this
the
is I'm watching the HBO Max one.
And have you watched the Netflix one?
I have not yet. It was on my long list.
I watched that one like
long time
whenever it
ago.
came out, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I've always wanted to cover it, but I just was like,
Well, I think it's perfect for this month.
I know.
Because just watching just 1.5 episodes, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know yet. I don't know. I
didn't mean to do that. I was turning on
Did you ping your phone?
Yeah. Yeah. So what happened so far in your, or I guess,
Well, tell the story and I'll tell you.
okay.
Because I'm not far at all.
Well, let me start it off with what the scene is like. Okay, so this is the story of Michael Peterson and the death of Kathleen Peterson.
Okay.
So December 9th, 2001, Kathleen Peterson is found unconscious on the floor in a pool of her own blood at the bottom of a staircase. That's why it's called the staircase.
Yes.
There's blood everywhere, a lot of blood. On her hands, on her feet, splattered up the walls of the stairwell. Kathleen was 48 years old. She worked as like an executive and was very successful. Her husband, Michael Peterson, was a novelist.
Yes. Okay.
They lived in this like large home in Durham, North Carolina. Michael Peterson says that earlier in the night, they had been drinking wine by the pool and kind of late into the night, and then said that Kathleen went inside and she went upstairs to go to sleep, leaving him outside by the pool by himself. And the next time he saw her, she was bleeding to death and unconscious at the bottom of the stairs. And that's when he called 911.
Durham 911, where's your emergency?
1810 Cedar Street, please.
What's wrong?
My wife's had an accident. She's still breathing.
What kind of accident?
Down on the stairs. She's still breathing. Please
Is
come.
she conscious?
What?
Is she conscious?
No, she's not conscious.
Okay,
Please.
how many stairs did you
What?
fall down?
Huh?
How many stairs?
Stairs.
How many stairs? Calm down, sir. Calm down.
No, 15, 20, I don't know. Please, get somebody here right away. Please.
Okay,
Still
somebody's dispatching the ambulance while I ask you questions.
It's in Forest Hills, okay? Please.
So he's very frantic. Very frantic.
I feel like he is.
Okay. So let's go back. Let me tell you a little bit about these two people.
Wait, let's go back to how many stairs even relevant? The 911 caller. How many stairs? Is he supposed to count them? Is he supposed to know?
Oh, yeah. But it was like 2 stairs. It was like she was like at the bottom. Yeah. Like she didn't even hardly go up any stairs. That's why it's all so weird.
You have a picture of the staircase?
I'm about to show you.
In the movie, it was a staircase.
Well, if you're watching the HBO show, that's like
a movie of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not,
and that's all I know about it. Like I haven't done.
If you watch the Netflix documentary, it shows like, it just goes into a lot of the evidence.
Okay.
So Michael Peterson was born in 1943 near Nashville. He graduated from Duke University with a bachelor's degree in political science. Once he left there, he took a civilian job with the U.S. Department of Defense. So he was assigned to research arguments supporting increased military involvement in Vietnam. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to these parts. Everybody pay attention. In 1965, Peterson married Patricia.
First wife. So Patricia taught elementary school in Grafhausen. Sure.
West Germany. Yeah. they had 2 children. They had Clayton and Todd. In 1968, he enlisted in the Marines and served in Vietnam. In 1971, he received honorable discharge with the rank of captain after a car accident left him with a permanent disability. So, years later, I guess he was running for mayor. It's what a mayoral campaign is?
Yeah.
Okay. So, he had claimed, as he's running for mayor, that he won a silver, I don't know what these things are, a silver star, a bronze star with valor, and 2 Purple Hearts.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's like,
legit.
yeah. He had all the medals. All
of them.
Yeah.
All the bling.
But he didn't have any documentation for them.
Oh, or the medals. Oh, he had the medals,
Yeah.
but no documentation.
And he claimed that he had received 1 Purple Heart after being hit by shrapnel when another soldier stepped on a landmine. And the other one is when he was shot. But Peterson later admitted that his war injury was not a result of the shrapnel wound in Vietnam, but it was a result of a car accident in Japan.
Oh.
And so, which is where he was stationed as a military policeman. So he has a little bit of history of maybe
Telling
a
stories.
little bit of a storyteller.
Dirty Chad kind of got that in common.
Yeah.
So he was probably not in war at all.
Oh, for sure not. For sure not.
I thought that was the only way you could earn a Purple Heart. Like you had to be in some type
Dirty
of
Chad
combat.
said he had a Purple Heart.
What?
Oh, yes.
He was like a cook.
But listen, you
clerk.
could go to the damn military depot where Army Navy surplus where you get like
Yeah.
army clothes or whatever. They have like a bunch of stuff. Like you can go get medals. So he had all these medals. I'm like,
What?
you literally bought all that shit and you bought like a fake certificate. I'm sure you faked it everything. Faked it?
Faked it all.
So Michael and Patricia lived in Germany for a little bit. This is where they became friends with Elizabeth and George Ratliff.
Okay.
Remember those? Remember Elizabeth. And they had 2 children. So their children were Margaret and Martha. Martha. So after George died, so George passes away, the Petersons and the Ratliffs, they become really close. And then Elizabeth ends up dying in 1985. And then Michael became the guardian for the 2, Margaret and Martha.
Okay. We're still with first wife. Then their friend's parents died and they ended up getting the kids.
Yep.
Okay.
And then 2 years after Elizabeth died, Elizabeth Ratliff, she died in 1985. Michael and Patricia got divorced in 1987.
She was like, I didn't sign on for all these kids.
No, because I'm pretty sure those kids were like in a cult or something. You got to watch the documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
So they divorced, and then Clayton and Todd, which are their kids together, they stayed and lived with Patricia in Germany, and then Margaret and Martha stayed with Michael, and they moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe they're having a relationship. I don't know. Clayton and Todd eventually left Germany and moved to North Carolina with Michael as well. So now
he's got all the kids.
He's got him and 4 kids.
Okay.
Then 1989 comes along, and this is when he meets Kathleen Atwater. And she, like I said, she's just a businesswoman. They got married in 1997. So like 8 years later. Kathleen had a daughter from a previous marriage. So now they have Caitlin. So they got 5 kids.
A lot.
With their extended family. So this brings us back to the beginning. December, or the day of Kathleen, when we find her on the stairs.
Okay. December
9th, 2001. So Michael Peterson calls 911 to report that he found Kathleen. Oh my gosh. That he found her unconscious and suspected that she had fallen down the stairs. Well, he says that they were outside. Okay, I said this earlier, but they were outside drinking by the pool, that she got tired, she went to bed, and that he found her at the foot of the stairs. Okay, it's all the same story. So he was like, we had been drinking and she had taken a Valium and, she must have just been like drunk and fell or something. He didn't know. He just found her there. He was outside. I mean, don't you go sit outside by the pool in December in North Carolina? Is it cold then?
I mean, anything with the north in it, I feel like it's cold.
I feel like anything with December in it, it's usually cold.
And December. North plus December, I would say it's cold.
I'm just thinking it might be. So this is one of my favorite parts. Oh. The toxicology reports showed that Kathleen's blood alcohol content was 0.07. Now, okay.
That's not even the legal.
I was going to ask you, I don't know anything about these limits.
0.08.
So guess what? I Googled it. Let me just tell you a few different examples. 0.02 is the lowest level of intoxication with some measurable impact on the brain and body, and you will feel relaxed, experience an altered mood, and you'll feel a little warmer, and you may make poor judgments.
Okay.
That's probably like one sip.
I love that warm feeling.
I love it. That's one
fuzzy.
That's one sip, okay? And then we go to 0.05. This is probably like 3 sips. At this level, your behavior will come exaggerated. You may speak louder. You may gesture more. Or you may also begin to lose control of small muscles. You like pee on yourself? I don't know. And you may, the ability to focus and your eyes will become blurry. Then we go to 0.08. This is the legal limit.
Yeah.
And she's below this limit still.
Yes. So if she's driving, she wouldn't even go to jail.
No. But she's
below the limit. Yeah.
The 0.08 is the current legal limit in the U.S. other than Utah. I don't know what it is in Utah. And at this level, it's considered illegal and unsafe to drive. You will lose more coordination, so your balance, speech, reaction times, and even your hearing will get worse. I mean, I went all the way from 10 to 15, 0.29. Let's go to the worst one, 0.40 and over. This level of BAC may put you in a coma or cause sudden death because your heart or breathing will suddenly stop. This is what is known as lethal blood alcohol level.
Oh, that's scary.
So don't go to that level.
So she wasn't plastered. She wasn't even buzzed.
No, she probably
maybe had a little buzz.
2 glasses of wine.
I mean, I feel like what you described at 0.05, that's how I live every day. My vision's always blurry.
Oh, my vision's always blurred. I wake up, it's blurred.
I always pee on myself.
You do always pee on it. Yeah. So I think you just...
I'm always allowed and using hand gestures. So I live at it.
I got that from alcohol.org, so I feel like it's got to be accurate.
Good accuracy.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I tell you all my sources. Alcohol.org. It's where I live my life. Okay. So toxicology reports come back, and that's where we're at. The autopsist report... Throwback.
You can't even call it the real thing anymore.
No, I get pissed if I hear autopsy. I'm like, no autopsist. It showed that Kathleen had sustained several injuries. She had a fracture of the thyroid neck cartilage.
What?
Is that like your throat? Where's the thyroid?
There, yeah.
And she had 7 lacerations to the top and to the back of her head, consistent with blows from a blunt force object, and had died from blood loss 90 minutes to 2 hours after sustaining the injuries. So this guy's out here sitting by the pool in the snow, freezing cold, relaxing for 2 hours while your wife's bleeding out.
Oh, because he thought she was going to bed? That's why he didn't check on her?
Well,
that's an excuse?
He's like, she had gone in for the night, and I stayed out there, and I kept,
drinking,
smoking cigar, drinking, whatever. Bro, it's probably snowing.
Yeah.
So, excuse. Kathleen's daughter and Kathleen's sister both initially thought, obviously Michael had nothing to do with it. No, well, you don't just think that right away. And they publicly supported him along with all the other kids. Okay. But they soon changed their minds. After they heard about the autopsy and
all those extra injuries.
Yeah, they were like, no. So then they have forensic expert Dr. Henry Lee. He's hired by the Petersons defense. And he testified that the blood spatter evidence was consistent with an accidental fall down the stairs.
Okay.
While the police investigation, they said that the injuries were inconsistent with the accident. So nobody's agreeing.
I don't know why there would be so much blood. And I know when you do
So
drink
much.
alcohol, you do bleed more or at a faster rate. But why is it that much blood? And then why all these lacerations in your head?
You have got to see these pictures. There's so much blood.
It was so much blood on the movie, but I don't know if it was exaggerated.
I know, it probably was. I'm finding all the right ones. Oh, that's not the ones that are in that thing. Oh. Go through those.
Yeah, look at all that.
I know.
That's a lot.
I don't think you splatter from falling down the stairs. You don't even, you might like bleed out of your ear or something,
Did you fall with a knife in your hand? Like, I don't know how it would be this much blood.
So since Michael Peterson was the only person at the residence at the time of Kathleen's death, he was the prime suspect and was charged with murder, which he would plead not guilty. So the medical examiner, Dr. Deborah Radish, she said that Kathleen died from lacerations of the scalp caused by homicidal assault. So according to her, the medical examiner, the total of 7 lacerations to the top and the back of her head were a result of the repeated blows from this like light kind of object, but a rigid object. And it is from what she says is a blowpoke.
What is that?
I'm about to tell you. This was a gift from Kathleen's sister, and it was not recovered at the crime scene, but it is, and the defense ended up disputing this whole theory. So, okay, the defense said the lacerations were not consistent with blows of any sort, and because there was a lack of underlying injury, such as skull fractures, bruising, swelling, hemorrhaging of the brain, and then this blowpoke is a like a fire poker.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what I was picturing.
A fire poker stick, but like originally, so they get all the evidence from the scene. They don't find that thing. And then all of a sudden it just appears like.
And now a word from our sponsors.
The defense, they disputed the whole theory, right? They said that the lacerations were not consistent with the blows of any sort, and there's no skull fractures, this and this. So the trial started to get all this attention from the media, obviously, and this is whenever the details of Michael's private life emerged. Now, I don't have all like the in-depth, like there was. The Netflix documentary goes into it's 8 or 9 episodes, I think. So
Okay.
we'll probably read the emails to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically he was, the prosecutors were trying to attack his credibility because they find these emails that are focusing on first they talked about his alleged military service and like the lies about that, and then they talked about how he had this secret gay life.
Oh.
Yes. And they said that the Petersons did not have a happy marriage, and that their argument was that Kathleen had discovered Michael's secret gay life and wanted to end their marriage. And that it was the main reason, the main motive that the prosecution gave that Michael would have wanted to kill her.
And it's just like Joe Bryan.
So
what year was this that you remember that he was dead? That she died? That she died.
What, 2001?
Oh, so
apparently
like you can go to jail for being gay back then.
No, he was apparently emailing back and forth with these like hooker, like male
sex workers.
Yeah. So, and like, I mean, it goes like the sex worker testified. Like, so he admits, like, he's like, yeah, like she knew about it. That's what he ended up saying. Michael ended up saying that Kathleen knew about it. So that like he
like approved of it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but I mean, these it talks about blowjobs. It's talking about everything.
Were there pictures too? Because on the movie, there's like pictures of like penis men and like their penises and.
Yeah. Well, there's pictures of the actual people. Yeah.
Okay.
So he was like majorly, like he had this whole secret sex life on the side.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was. That's just from what I remember on the Netflix
Andrew
show.
does tell us it happens all the time.
I know. So the other reason that the prosecution gave as a motive would be the $1.5 million life insurance policy.
Oh, shit.
So according to assistant DA Frida Black, she said, quote, Kathleen would have been infuriated by learning that her husband, who she truly loved, was bisexual and having an extramarital relationship. Not with another woman, but a man, which would have been humiliating and embarrassing to her. We believe that once she learned this information, that an argument ensued and a homicide occurred. End quote. So the defense argued that Kathleen was accepting of his bisexuality, that their marriage was happy, and that it was supported by Michael and Kathleen's children and friends.
Oh.
I know. The prosecution was like, maintain that the murder was most likely committed with this custom-made fireplace poker called the blow poke, which was the gift from the sister. And this is whenever it was like, they didn't have it to present to the jury because they didn't actually find this. They didn't have it. And then later in the trial, the defense just randomly comes up with this blow poke or this fire stick poker.
Yeah.
So they're saying that how did the defense, all of a sudden they just find this random blow poke? Like they said, they overlooked it in the garage during like the investigation, and that forensic tests showed that it had been untouched and unmoved for too long to have been used in the murder. And
so did it say anything about them having money problems?
No.
That really came out.
Well, they probably did, but
okay.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
The movie alluded to like they had to cut back, like don't bring the cleaning lady anymore until, I guess they got caught up. Plus you had 1,000 kids. Yeah. And I think one of them was just leaving for college, maybe. So they're like just now empty nesters.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that came out because if there is money problems, then that's really going to back up the whole insurance. Money part.
Yeah. So, and then I read that a juror was contacted after the trial. A juror contacted after the trial said that the jury dismissed the idea of the blow poke as the murder weapon.
Okay.
So now let me connect some dots from the past. Okay. Remember Elizabeth Ratliff, who was the mom of Martha and Margaret?
Yeah.
She died in 1985. We don't know why. But
Or how? Do we know how?
Oh, we do know.
Did she fall down the staircase?
She did.
What? Oh,
So
how original.
Elizabeth Ratliff, the friend of the Petersons who died in Germany in 1985, had also been found dead at the foot of her staircase with injuries to the head. What? Her death had been investigated by both German police and U.S. military police. An autopsy was done at the time of her death and concluded that she died of a stroke and that she had some blood clotting disorder called something. But based on the reports, she had been suffering from severe, persistent headaches like weeks leading up to her death. So the coroner determined that the hemorrhage resulted in immediate death following her fall down the stairs after collapsing. Well, the Petersons had had dinner with the Ratliff with Elizabeth and the daughters one night, and Michael had stayed to help her put the kids to bed.
The night she died.
The night that she died. And
Wait, where was her husband?
her husband had already died.
Oh, he died first. Okay.
Yeah, he
I
died
thought you were
first.
going to say he was screwing the husband and that's why they got rid of the
yeah,
wife.
that would have been good, but no, he was already dead.
Okay.
So Michael had helped to stay to put the kids to bed with Elizabeth and then went home. The kids' nanny, Barbara, she came to the house and she's the one who discovered Elizabeth's body the next morning. But Michael Peterson was the last person to see her alive.
Man, Michael. I don't know what to think.
Before his trial in the North Carolina, they ordered for Elizabeth's body to be exhumed so they could do a second autopsy.
Okay.
So, and she's buried in Texas. So they got to fly her to North Carolina. Well, the medical examiner found sufficient evidence from the results of the second autopsy, along with, there was 2 new witness statements that would overturn the earlier findings and that would list her cause of death as homicide.
Oh, shit.
So the prosecution did not accuse Michael Peterson of her death, but they introduced the death into the trial as an incident giving Peterson the idea of how to fake Kathleen's accident. So the nanny who had discovered her body, she testified for the trial, and she actually said there was a large amount of blood at the scene. And then another witness had testified, saying that they spent much of the day cleaning blood stains off the wall. And in the initial police report, it said that there was just very little blood at the scene.
So what do you believe?
Well, I believe I can't tell you yet. Because we have to still bring in our new little friend.
Oh, what's his name?
La Chucha? What do you call him?
Chusa?
La Chusa?
La Chusa?
Yeah. So his conviction, we are in trial on October 10th, 2003, which this was one of the longest trials in North Carolina history.
And he's been in jail this whole time, or did he get out?
Oh, hold, please.
Okay.
So the jury found Michael Peterson guilty of murder of Kathleen Peterson. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, you might think, wow, that sure was short.
What happened?
We're not done yet. So he's life in prison, no parole. Like, that's
Dead, gone to jail,
done.
over with.
So the denial of parole requires premeditation. The jury found that the murder was a spur of the moment crime.
Okay.
But they also found that it was premeditated. And so premeditated meant not only planning hours or days ahead, but could also mean planning in seconds before committing the spur of the moment crime.
What?
Either way, he's found guilty.
And
So
he's denied
then
parole.
that was 2003, right? Yes.
Yes.
So 2006 comes around.
Okay.
And he is wanting to appeal. Well, they do the whole appeal process. Everything takes so long. So they do appeal, and the appeals court reject his arguments because he says that he did not get a fair trial because of judicial mistakes. And a bunch of other legal bullshit happens. And then on November 12th, 2008, Peterson filed a motion for a new trial, and that was denied. So there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Shit.
2009.
Wow. This is 8 years.
Yes.
RogueCon 23. That's right. It is here. It's not back. It's here. It's the first one. Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It is all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues, January 20th through the 22nd of 2023. Now, if you want to go, you got to get tickets, and tickets are on sale at roguecon23.com. That's RogueCon, RogueCon 23.com. Be there. I'm going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't rap, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.
Okay, this is where it gets to the good stuff. A new theory came up that was by their neighbor. So Michael's neighbor. He is also an attorney. He's not Michael's attorney. He's just a neighbor who's a friend who's an attorney. And he had been following the case. And he thought that, I think that she was attacked by an owl. Outside.
What? Hey, lettuces could be real.
Listen, I literally found an owl as I walked into the studio.
If you're watching this, we have an owl sitting on our table.
So I had to get it, and I really want to hold the owl and look at its eyeballs.
It kind of freaks me out.
Listen, it could not be more perfect.
What's this attorney's name?
Larry Pollard.
Okay, so he's not Mexican. There's these Mexican what are they called? Stories. And the La Chusa is this very scary thing.
Well, owls are.
And that they take
they hang
kids
upside
at
down.
night. Yeah.
They just go, ooh, ooh.
That they are murderers.
Ooh, ooh.
They are sneaky.
Apparently they can take down something things bigger than them.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Larry Pollard comes up and he's like, this bitch is attacked by an owl. He said she was attacked by an owl outside and that she had fallen after, this is his theory, she had fallen after rushing inside and was knocked unconscious after she hit her head on the stairs. She gets attacked by this owl, she falls down on the ground, runs inside, slips and falls on the stairs and whatever. Okay, so he goes to the police.
Oh, gosh.
And he is telling them that he has a theory and he thinks that this owl was responsible for Kathleen's death. And after reading over the evidence list, there was a feather that was found listed.
What?
A microscopic owl feather had been found in a wad of bloody hair found in her hand. Okay. Wait, I'm going to have a really good theory. This was Larry Pollard's full-on theory.
My mouth is dropping.
Kathleen went outside for some reason, maybe to take out the trash, and was attacked on the head by an owl. She reached out to touch the part of her head that the owl had dug its talons into, and a chunk of her scalp came out and her hair came out in her hand. She rushed inside, and she fell just as she reached the foot of the stairs, knocking her unconscious. That's where Michael found her bleeding.
I'm going to be scared to go outside at night now.
Okay, and this is all his theory. So then he's telling this to the police, and they are like, get out. Laugh, laugh, laugh. You're so dumb. That's the dumbest shit I've
He
ever
lives in the
heard.
neighborhood. Maybe he knows there's this mean-ass owl.
Well, there probably
Try to
is.
attack him.
So they laugh, and then the newspapers get wind of this theory, and of course they ridiculed him, everything. Well, he didn't give up. And so at his insistence, some of the evidence was re-examined, and he said that they found not one, but 3 microscopic owl feathers.
Wow.
And
But the owl didn't attack her in the house. She just ran from being outside, inside.
apparently.
And the owl didn't
And
follow
apparently
her.
let me look at that. They're not like, I guess they're,
Not like a long feather like we would picture.
Yeah. I know. So,
I'm a little freaked out.
yeah. Yeah. So, advocates of this theory, so there's like owlologists or whatever, like
Probably.
like there's like
Lachusaologists.
people who are like owl experts who are coming in, and there's a couple of advocates who are just like giving their evidence to support this theory. And they say scalp wounds where the trilobed and their little claws, scalp wounds were the same shape of like the owl's claws. They were consistent, like marks that were consistent left by talons. And this is just these owl
people,
owl fanatic people. The feathers are similar to those on owl feet. Cedar needles were found on her hands and body, indicating Kathleen had fallen over outside shortly before entering the house, that her blood spattered up the staircase rather than down, and they go way in depth in the blood splatter.
Yeah.
And that the footprints, because they said they had found footprints of her footprints in her own blood. And they're like, how do you have footprints in your own blood if you fell down and then you bleed? Why are your footprints in it?
Yeah, okay.
Well, they said that the footprints in her own blood indicated that she was already bleeding before she even reached the foot of the stairs. So if the owl had attacked her and she's bleeding, but like, is it like gushing? I don't even know. And that there were 2 drops of blood found outside the house on the front walkway, along with a finger smear on the front door, consistent with her pushing the door shut.
But how are you not screaming so that
exactly
Michael could hear you?
I think he obviously was giving BJs to Larry Pollard, and they came up with this.
Look at those look at those talons.
Those are so big. Are you sure? Did you type owl or ostrich?
Owl talons. It even said owl
Get it
talons.
in perspective. I think it's like a little too, like the perceptions. Oh, and these advocates, these people, they said that owl attacks were common in this area.
I'm never going to Durham, North Carolina.
They said that one victim said that it was the impact that was similar to being hit in the head with a baseball bat. So maybe that's how Bob Saget died.
An owl came into his hotel room?
Yes.
I don't know any about the details of how he died.
Well, because they didn't release it because the family wouldn't let him. They didn't let the police release it.
It's probably something more embarrassing than that. It's probably like
he was in there by himself. He slipped out of the shower and then he fell, hit his head, and then he went to sleep and was laying perfectly asleep like this.
Oh, yeah. That's right. So how come they won't let him release?
I don't know. Obviously, there is something suspicious that they're not wanting to get out to the public and tarnish whatever I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think that now he was attacked by an owl.
Could be.
Maybe he had an owl fetish and they don't want the people to know. Maybe his skin suit was unzipped.
Oh my gosh, I was just blindsided by this whole owl story.
I can't believe you didn't know the owl theory.
No.
Oh.
I've not gotten that far.
So Pollard goes on to say that if a jury had been presented with this evidence, then they would have not, that it would have affected the verdict. And
it would have.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's
Yes.
like, well, if you had presented this theory and showed them damn talons.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if you see all the pictures of the house, all that blood. I mean, no, I still don't think so. Okay, I won't tell you what I think yet. So the original autopsist from the very beginning, Deborah Radish, she comes back and she says that it is unlikely that an owl or any other bird could have made wounds as deep as the ones that were on her scalp. But she said that her opinion was, she didn't say, her opinion was challenged by some other experts in a few different affidavits that were filed. And despite that interest and all those objections, I guess, there was no motion that was filed for a new trial. Okay, because, he's trying to get
this theory
out there so then he can get a new trial.
Yeah.
So we are in 2000. This is the owl theory of 2009. Okay. So then in August of 2010, a motion was filed for a new trial. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. Now they're saying that Peterson's attorney comes and he says this guy, Dwayne Deaver, who was the blood spatter analyst, he has falsely represented evidence in 34 cases. This is what Peterson's attorney is now claiming. So one of the 34 cases was Peterson's case. And Deaver, this expert, blood spatter expert, had testified that he had been mentored by this blood splatter expert named David Spittle, and that he worked 500 bloodstain cases. He had written 200 reports, and he had testified in 60 cases. So I mean, that's a lot of that's a lot of stuff. Well, it turns out that this Deaver guy had only written 47 reports, not 200. He was never mentored by this bloodstain specialist, Spittle, and he had only testified in 4 cases, not 500. So
what does he feel? They feel like they need to lie to make themselves seem.
So up until this point, Peterson has been housed in the Nash Correctional Institution near Rocky Mount until December 16th, 2011. He's released.
Because of this. Oh, because of now the guy, the evidence was faulty.
Yes.
Shit.
So
I was like, the owl theory? Okay.
When he gets released and on $300,000 bail bond, and he goes, and I only have part of this. He went and gave this little news conference interview, and he's like, Kathleen was my life. I whisper her name in my heart 1,000 times. She is there. But I can't stop crying. I would never hurt my wife. And just
kind of had me sold until that part right there.
And he's this writer, whatever. So he's on house arrest and he has an ankle tracking device. And then he files this motion for a new trial. Well, okay, a judicial order for a new trial, and then the judge found that the Deaver guy had given like misleading information, deliberately false testimony about this bloodstain evidence, and he had exaggerated his experience and his training. And so all that evidence gathered, that Deaver had gathered, was now deemed inadmissible in a new trial. So in July 2014, this is the case with most states, his bond restrictions are now eased. Okay, I don't know what that really means.
Probably lightened a little bit.
Yeah. So there's like a more legal bullshit, this new attorney, one's doing pro bono, they switch attorneys, they go back to the original attorney, like all these things. For like 2 years.
Wow. But he's free.
In November 2016, a new trial was scheduled, and it was supposed to begin in May 2017.
Damn.
Okay. However, in February
of 2017,
Peterson pleaded an Alfred plea.
What is that?
A guilty plea entered because sufficient evidence exists to convict him of the crime, but the defendant asserts innocence.
Never heard of it.
Who
the hell's Alfred?
I don't know, but I need to know Alfred, and I want to hear more about him. But he did this Alfred plea basically saying, like, this is the only way, like, I'm going to get out of this, and let me just go ahead and say I'm guilty even though I'm really innocent.
Yeah,
I think that people can do that a lot, I guess. I don't know anything. And so it is pleading this Alfred plea to the voluntary manslaughter of Kathleen. Damn. A judge then sentenced him to a maximum of 86 months in prison with credit for previously time served. And because Peterson had already served more time than he was sentenced, he did not face any additional prison time. He was, his plea, the Alfred plea, the one that you admit to the guilt even though you really didn't do it, or you really did do it, but you didn't, saying you didn't do it, gave significant evidence to convict and overturn his original one. And so that happened in 2017, and
he's out
and he's free and he's writing books.
What?
Yes.
That would have probably been the smartest way to go, though.
Oh yeah,
but like you think about like Joe Bryan, who said all he had to do was say, "I'm sorry for what I did," and he would have got out of jail a long time ago. But he was never going to fix his mouth to do that.
I think that though, if you are like, I am innocent,
it makes you look worse.
Like if you really are innocent, it's got to be a battle to just say you're guilty.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why Joe Bryan didn't do it, because
Joe Bryan
did not do it. But the fact that Michael's like, okay, let me go ahead and do it so I can be free.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, maybe I just say it, but I know in my heart what I believe or whatever. And then he's free, living his life. It worked for him.
Well, let me tell you, what do you think about the owl theory?
Listen, we need to hurry up and finish this episode because I can't be leaving at dark time now. I'm a little weirded out by that. And I'm going to the country.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that everybody needs to go watch if you want to get every single little detail about it, with like, if you have questions, you need to go watch the Netflix documentary.
The documentary, not the HBO.
If you want to just get a like overview, I think that the HBO one would be good. It's
just probably not as
They're
detailed.
just going to be different. Just going to be different. I mean, the Netflix one's going to be a little slower, like, because it's going to be interviews of it's going to show you the attorneys. It's going to show you all the kids. It's going to, I mean, they're all on it. Peterson, his family, the kids, all the different attorneys, all the experts. I mean, it's basically the trial.
Oh
Basically the trial. And I forgot totally about that Al story until I came back to this case and was like, oh my gosh. But if you watch the Netflix one, no. You do not believe him.
Okay.
I did not believe him. I think he's guilty. I think he did it. I think he
So were you able to watch like his mannerisms and like see him a lot during the documentary? Because what got me is I mean, this is just a movie and this is an actor, but they portray, their real personality, and he seems so genuine and genuinely hurt.
Well, you're only on episode
2. Yeah.
I'm gonna, which this will be too late. I should have watched this before, but I have one of my other YouTube people is the body language experts, like this behavioral panel, and they did an episode on Michael Peterson.
Was that what he looks like in real life?
Yes.
Oh no, he did it.
Oh, I know. Look,
he did it. Oh yeah, he did it. I didn't even know what he looks like.
Why you think it?
Here's the thing, huh? He just looks like...
I think he seems, and this is just my first thing, he seems cocky. He seems like he just knows more than everybody in the room all the time.
He has to be guilty anyways because his last name Peterson. And let's just say never marry a Peterson.
No, never, ever.
Now, I didn't know about Michael, but we know Scott, we know Drew. Oh yeah, he's gross. And now Michael Peterson. Just don't do it.
Don't do
Ladies,
it.
if your last name's Peterson, by marriage, go on and sign that divorce paper.
Yeah, don't
get that
do
divorce
it.
decree.
If you are even like, no, don't do it.
No.
Nobody named Peterson, and what other names
I think
are
that's
terrible?
it.
I don't know. I just know names of like crazy girls like Amber and Tiffany. And there was like a list, and it's like the names of the top 10 crazy top 10 names or whatever.
Oh man. Okay, so you're guilty.
Oh yeah, I for sure think he's guilty.
I just wonder why why this neighbor was so adamant about this owl theory.
I don't know.
And then if you think about it, there were 7 lacerations.
He probably drugged her. He probably gave her the Valium. That's why he said it was in her system.
I know.
He probably gave her the Valium, and then they're walking in, and he like probably pushed her over into the bushes so she would get scratched up, and then she probably like had the pieces of the. Maybe there's Alf. Maybe they had a pet owl. I don't know. Maybe they had owl feathers on the ground, and they're whatever. He pushed her over, and then they got inside, and somehow he beat her, and like she's on the stairs. I don't know.
So
that was a good theory.
In the story, it's so far-fetched. In the movie, tell me if it came up in documentary, they kind of painted her to be kind of like a drunk and like clumsy. So they had a story.
Really?
Where there was a party, and she had fell at one party, but then another time she was drunk and she just like jumped in the pool, but she was too drunk and she hit her head and then like never came up. So he had to like save her, and she was in the hospital for a little bit. And then in the movie, like when one of the sons left, his story to the police was, she was pretty drunk when I left, and he had like left and went to a party and come back. And
well, see, yeah, they don't. That's not all.
It's not even in there.
It's not like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's fact or if it's just adding to the like storyline. Right.
That's the story of Michael Peterson. You need to tell us, what do you think? Do you think he beat her over the head with the blowpoke, and then he hid it somewhere, and then it all of a sudden reappeared back in the garage mysteriously?
But untouched.
And super clean because it had been so many months or years by then? maybe? Or do you think it was the owl? Ooh, 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 ooh.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
I know.
But then owl theory never got to come up in court.
Or do you think it was ex? I don't know. They go into the gay lovers and the gay sex workers. Like that's huge in the trial.
Which creates distrust, which is why he was guilty. Like if that had to come out.
Well, you lied about your military stuff. You lied about. You're just very deceptive. I don't know. I did not get a good vibe from him on the documentary, so.
Guilty. And his last name's Peterson.
Yep.
So.
That's all it takes.
Guilty. Well, I'm going to have to watch the movie, but I'm going to have to watch the documentary. Because as of right now, I'm like in the middle. Like, I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's innocent in the movie. But somebody's acting and showing some great emotions.
Apparently, Michael Peterson himself said that he's written 2 books since he's been out. What a shock. And he refuses to watch the HBO. Because he said it doesn't portray things accurately. But I mean, of course, if they're portraying him as being a murderer, he's going to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's tell them next month is just random shit month. Like we are not going to have a theme or category or whatever we usually do.
I like to get a little bit of new inspiration. Like what am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
There's been so many new ones that have been happening. What should we do? I mean, we got to do new ones. I want to do new
I don't
ones,
know.
like
I
or
have no
small
idea.
town stuff. I mean, the options are endless.
Yeah. So we're not going to have a category, so there's no telling what you're going to get. We're also thinking about about recording. We didn't record our live show, but we had 2 stories. Caroline did a story. I did a story. They were both short, like both quickies. So we're thinking about just putting those out and recording. That way y'all can have an extra like quickie episode here or there. I don't know. It was just kind of exclusive to our live show people.
I know.
But there's great stories that I feel like we got to share with all of our fans.
I mean, we'll see.
You may get those at some point in July. And if you're traveling, binge. Go back and listen to old episodes. Like, why not have our voices on the whole time you're traveling on vacation?
They're beautiful. Sometimes we cough in the mic. Crunch. We haven't crunched ice in so long.
Yeah, I think I probably did 2 episodes ago, and on the live show. I don't even know I'm doing it.
You always cough in the mic, but
always. I think that's just.
I think I want to try something new.
Gonna be original. Oh, you're gonna do another sound?
Yeah, I think maybe I'll start eating in the mic.
Okay. Burping.
I've done that. I don't know what else to do besides slurp, chew ice.
All the worst bad habits.
I hate smacking.
I got
if you are smacker, if you're smacking, I'm leaving. And you're not.
If you choose cinnamon gum, Big Red gum, I'm leaving.
Oh, that's the worst. It was put in my stocking. I'm scarred.
Okay, y'all. This is it. We'll see y'all next week. Don't forget to
stay aware.
Stay alive.
And always be TTF.
Always. Don't forget, go rate, review,
and
subscribe.
How many times are we going to tell you?
We forgot to read this one. We'll reread it next episode. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Good stuff.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It's all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues on January 20th through the 22nd, 2023. Tickets are on sale now at roguecon23.com.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't rap, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.